Okay, it is now 5 o'clock. Will you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And a moment of silence. Okay, thank you. This is the Littleton Board of Selectmen meeting on the 8th of September. So first thing, we have no public hearings. We have 2 presentations this evening. First one is CPACE or district discussion with James Key-Wallace.
Right here.
Okay. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm James. I run the state of New Hampshire's Business Finance Authority. So we are a state agency down in Concord. I'll just give you a quick 30 seconds about the agency and then talk a little bit about CPACE, although I think you may have heard some information at last meeting, but I kind of want to just tell you about it. Since we're the ones running the program, I want to make sure what you got was accurate. And then of course answer any questions that you have. So the BFA is what's known as a quasi-governmental entity, which means we are the government, but they don't give us any money. That's really what that is. So the BFA uses no taxpayer funds, we're self-supported state agency, and our real mission is to help private capital get to projects that are going and growing all across the state. It's about 6,000 businesses and nonprofits that have used the BFA's programs. It's several billion in investment into the state. Again, all private capital, which is pretty great. So last year, the legislature asked the BFA to take a look at what's known as the CPACE program. CPACE is a program that had been around for 15 years, actually already on the books with the state, but had never been used because it contained a bunch of technical issues, flaws, just problems from a mechanics perspective. And they said, let's get a group that knows lending in here to try and fix it up. So we did, and the legislature passed it. It was the first bill passed in the last session. And what it lets folks do, if you're a project, for example, it lets you borrow up to 35% of your total project cost from a private lender, right? So these are taxpayer funds for certain types of expenditures, mostly energy efficiency expenditures. Also things like using less water, being more resistant to earthquake, floods, natural disasters, things that are all designed to kind of save you money, right? You borrow money, it costs you this much, but you save this much, so it makes sense to make that investment. And if your lender agrees, then you go for it. So, but why does that take the state? Why does it take a town? That's because CPACE is a little bit unique. Most loans, when they're made, like if we were to make a loan, you take a mortgage on a building, right? Just like you do for your house. With CPACE, you don't. The lender is secured instead by the same type of security position that the town would be for an unpaid property tax lien. It's not an unpaid property tax lien, but it has that same type of security status. So if a project goes sideways and the lenders need to collect, the way it would work is this. The past due monthly payments, say 90 days they're late, with your lender, when the property is sold, the CPACE lender gets those 90 days worth of payments caught up, so they're sort of up to date on their loan. The bank, who assumedly has a mortgage, gets everything else. Well, of course, actually the town gets paid first if there are any unpaid property taxes. That's the law. But so the bank gets it, and then someone else owns it. the new owner would then pick up the C-PACE loan where it left off. So it's this sort of like permanently, until it's paid off, kind of a fixed financing vehicle, which gives the lender a lot of security to be able to make the long-term loans for these type of improvements that I just talked about. So the town or city that wants to allow C-PACE to occur in their community has to what's called opt-in, and that's just baked into the law. There's different ways people opt in. If you're a city, you do it at your city council. Some do it by a board of select person votes. Some are at an annual town meeting. My understanding is I think that Littleton is a town meeting town, which would mean opt-in would occur via town meeting. We have model ordinances that the state's developed, that way you guys can get, the language to be like, yes, we hereby opt-in and like this, whatever, right? So that's all on our website, as well as the process you need to follow. We're available to ask, answer any questions about the ordinance. Once you're in, loans can start going to projects. The town doesn't really have to do anything. The only thing you have to do on a deal by deal basis is you'll get a package from us saying a loan is approved. We're not making the loan, a lender is, but we're doing compliance work. And somebody is appointed point of contact at the town. We send you the package and you just have to make sure it gets recorded at the registry of deeds, which you can delegate to the closing attorney or whatever, and those costs are covered. This is a no cost to the town program, and no obligation of any of its citizens. And that's it. Oh, one more thing actually. 20 years later or whatever, when the loan's paid off, you have to send a letter saying the loan's paid off. Like we would tell you, and then you would say, yep. And we take that to the Register of Deeds in the county and tell them it's paid off. So, piece of paper in the beginning, and then probably 20, 30 years later, you delete that piece of paper, and that's all about the town has to do. So that's C-PACE in a nutshell, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
So no obligation to the town if there's a default on this loan, even though we've signed on to the program, nothing can come back at us?
100%, yeah, or the state for that matter. Yeah, this is a 100% private lending program. I think 22 states now around the country have it. It's several $1 billion in new capital is flowing into those states each year.
So explain to me why we have to sign on it again? Just because we have to approve to have that in our town, is that what it is?
Yeah, the way the law is written, or was from the beginning, is each town opts in to allow C-PACE loans to happen in their community.
At no cost or anything, just sign a piece of paper
It's just, it's like enabling,
with no responsibilities.
except for the two that I mentioned about recording some
Yeah,
documents.
just recording.
Yeah. There is a, it's called a community participation agreement that we have the template again on the BFA website that says like the town would sign it saying we've opted in, we agree to do it, and here's everything the BFA is going to do, and you can read that and see it's just those things I mentioned. The reason that the opt-in is there is because it didn't always used to be that way, that the town didn't have responsibilities. So prior to last year, when we were asked to redo the statute, the town had to develop the list of contractors, vet them, bill for the loan payments, collect it, you weren't responsible to pay if something went wrong, but you were basically the lender, you were running the loan, which no one in their right mind would do, except for someone like us, apparently, something we do all day. And the state said that's very silly. The town shouldn't have to bear that responsibility. And the towns, through the municipal association, agreed with that assessment.
Okay, to add on to Roger's questions, what thought that goes through my mind is what guarantee if the facility or the builder or whoever owns the property goes belly up, claims bankruptcy, you know, flees the country, whatever, what guarantee does the lender have of getting their finances back? I mean, I understand the municipal's responsibility is just an authorization or an agreement that, yes, we will allow this in our town. But what, my concern would be for the lender, what guarantee do they have to be able to get their funds back?
Yeah, it's the same as any lender, right?
Okay.
They might not.
Okay.
But
There's risk in-
So it's just
There
a
is-
portion of it, of what, they're not funding the full boat, so whatever's
Right.
done,
35%.
Right.
they can sell and get their money back.
that's the idea, yeah.
Okay.
They just, you know,
Okay.
eventually
Right.
get paid. But
So my understanding is that what we have to do is we have to document the fact that we do support this bill or project or whatever, whatever terminology has to be in there. And then we have to register the deeds, correct?
yeah,
Even though the deed belongs to the people who own the property.
yep, you have to record
Okay.
what's known as the assessment.
Right.
Yep.
Just like we do now when the planning board registers a deed. Pretty much the same type of setup, am I correct on that?
I don't know how that works. I'm not really sure, but
Yeah, what's
sounds
that
like-
record?
Yeah,
You mentioned, yeah, that was my question too. You mentioned like
Yeah.
record keeping and
Right.
just like what is the administrative burden on
Yeah.
our municipality that is already kind of burdened with a lot of work. So I'm just, what does that look like in reality, I guess is my
There
question.
should be none. You guys are not responsible for tracking the loan, its
Mm-hmm.
balance, its payments, really any of it.
And then the lender lets us know that the thing is paid off, and then we let you know, we document to you that we understand the loan has been paid off.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the way it really works is the lender lets us both know, and we give you, again, this is already on the website, there's
Right.
a certificate of payment
Okay.
that we both sign to say, yeah, this is definitely paid off. And that's it, and that's really just for future title searches for the
Yeah.
property, to make sure there's evidence that they're not in debt.
Yeah,
Is it usually a 20 or to 30-year loan, or is it all, it just,
It's all
all
over the
different?
place, yeah.
Yeah. What other towns in New Hampshire are doing this already?
No one's opted in yet. The
Oh.
program launched on.
It's new, I know, I
on
read a little bit
Wednesday.
of that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's very
Last
new.
Wednesday.
So we're the guinea pigs, if
No,
we decide to do it, our town decides
We'll
to do
see.
it,
There-
it's not up to us.
It's definitely a race. I would say there's probably 4 or 5, communities that I've already given presentations to.
our size or larger, or a combination of
It's
both?
it's both. It's
Okay.
some a little smaller, some a little larger.
Okay.
And, so far there haven't been any objections because, everyone wants to kind of look at the details and make sure.
Right, right, which I understand.
But, yeah, me too.
Have we run this by legal?
Yeah, and what do we?
I've not yet, no.
And also, do we have to bring it, we'll bring it to town meeting, this is not between us.
Yeah, I
is
mean,
that
the thing
correct?
that, one of the things that we caught in our review was the reference to the RSA, and it does reference an annual town meeting, so I know that we've had discussions with our concern about that language. We've not used our legal counsel yet to interpret that. My interpretation of annual meeting, there's only one annual meeting that happens in March. So the question is, at the last presentation, we were asked if we would consider it a special meeting. And I'm not sure, until we get a legal opinion on that, whether we could call for a special meeting or
Right.
not. So that would have to be researched.
Right,
Last
and
time we did it was costly.
Right, well, in addition to that, I think the question that I had when Troy and I had talked about this and wanting a special town meeting, what deadline date do they have to file that would require us to have a separate town meeting and put that cost on us? Because they're extremely expensive to have a special town meeting.
Oh, do you guys know how much? I don't know.
I don't remember what the figures were, we
Yeah.
could dig them up, but the
No,
last time
yeah.
we did that, it was.
I do remember.
Because you have to have lawyers present and things like that, what's the cost?
Yeah,
Well, the town clerk, the setup, the
Oh,
tear
yeah.
down, the
The voting.
venue, the voting,
Venue,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah, the whole thing. So there is a cost to the municipality involved for us to have a special town meeting. If the timeline is such that we can do it in our, because we're an SB2 town, so we have our February deliberative session and then we have our March voting. So if we can do it then we're all set with moving, I mean, I am anyway, with moving forward with putting this on the ballot or warrant, just having the discussion. If it's not, if that timeline does not work, then we're gonna have to circle the wagons and figure out how we're gonna do this.
Yeah, so, as the program administrator, we're
Right.
just a resource to you.
Right.
If, Littleton chose to pursue a special town meeting, we would certainly work with you. You'd have to answer whether that was allowed, with your attorneys that you.
You have to ask the courts first.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah, they have to approve it.
Yeah.
right.
We would certainly be here to give you guys whatever you want to make whatever choice you
Right.
want to make. The other thing you should know about, and this is just in the works, we don't know what the outcome will be, but we have legislation in filed for this year to allow any town to opt in to CPACE at the select board level. A lot of the communities have said the same thing, like, well, this is a kind of a timing issue. And that's just, the meeting, that's the way it's been for 15 years. And, communities now, like an actual usable program that people really want to be a part of
Right.
around the state, they're saying, well, when can we get going? So there's legislation filed to let people just,
So it hasn't passed yet, it's filed.
it's filed, yeah. And it would be different. You could still do town meeting, it doesn't take anything away
Yeah.
from towns. But if you wanted to do it select board, you would have a series of public hearings to make sure there was public input. And then you could take action at this level, for example. So you don't have to wait.
Which would still cost money. If we have public hearings.
There's a part in our paperwork that says,
That would be just,
You can do it right
Legal
at the
fee.
select board meeting, public hearing. Just have a different location.
Is there a requirement of how many public hearings we would have to have?
yeah, there's just a lot of questions with that.
I'd have to check the proposed legislation.
Okay.
I believe it's one, unless the actual body of the question, for example, of the resolution changes substantially. Like, then you have to have a hearing
Right.
for obvious
Right.
reasons.
On the surface, I have no issue with the program, but when we dig down to find out the meetings and everything, I
Questions.
do have a lot of questions about the timing, the financial burden to the town to have any special meetings or public hearings,
It's
that
not
type of
really-
thing.
how it really
Yeah,
looks. It
how
says-
it really looks.
One thing I see in the paperwork, which it says a New Hampshire BFA may reimburse a municipality or county for actual expenses incurred by the municipality or county in the performance of the municipality or county CPACE or duties. So what are those potential,
So,
I mean, it's in the paperwork, so I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's so new to me, it's a brand new thing to me.
yeah, it's a
so-
great,
Yeah.
it's a great question.
Being honest,
So
yeah.
we put that in there because let's say there was a CPACE project,
Yeah.
right? And, this it's not about like opting in or not, right? You've opted in,
Yeah,
3
we're
years
already
from
in,
now,
yeah, what are the
a
costs?
project comes along, and let's just say something comes up, and the town needs to hire a lawyer to answer some questions, right? We wanted to make sure there was a mechanism where the project that's getting CPACE
Mm.
loan funds, we could bill them on your behalf to make sure the town's reimbursed. It's hard to imagine what that scenario might be, but
Yep.
you never know.
And there's other
Yeah.
states that do this.
We have the same clause,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Kind of what I read into it, yeah.
Yeah, there's other states doing this, we're behind. There's like 30-something or something states already doing this, or?
It
I've
it
read a
goes up
number.
every year, I
Yeah.
think, don't quote me on the exact number, I think it's 28 states
Okay.
with CPACE programs, really 22 that are like actually up and running.
And are the benefits, I mean, I know what some of the benefits are, things can get built that wouldn't be built otherwise, but what are the benefits to municipality? I just helping a private business get going that wouldn't otherwise?
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
kind of dumbing it down, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's
what's it all
complicated.
about, right?
Yeah, what's the
It's-
benefit?
It's really about two things. It's about new development,
Yeah.
right? So CPACE loans can be used for commercial development, anything you think of as commercial, right? Downtown storefronts, a new business building, anything commercial. But in New Hampshire, commercial also includes multifamily housing
Oh, right, I
of
read
5
that.
or more units. So it's both to help make new housing and new business opportunity. And it's not just for new buildings, which it is, that helps those buildings get built, but it's a way for folks to also retrofit existing structures to make them less costly to operate,
Like
which,
ADUs.
Yeah,
yeah, could be
Like
that.
ADUs and stuff.
Maybe, depends on the nature of the building, but it could just be like a downtown storefront, and to like make it more weather tight, whatever it is that's gonna save them money, or an apartment building that already exists that wants to be more efficient, which means typically lower rents for the occupants,
Yeah.
because it's not as costly to operate.
Yeah,
So it's good for new buildings, and for fixing up old
Yeah.
buildings.
is there eligibility for the builder, or anyone, like they get a cheaper loan, is that why is it attractive to the builder,
So it's really the owner.
or the owner?
Yeah,
Not the builder, the owner.
Right, yeah, it's really the owner, and it's not necessarily less expensive, but it's more flexible because it's more secure. Using that special assessment where the loan lives on, right? Even if the project doesn't, the new owner would take over the loan, and so the lender says, it might take me 30 years, but I'll probably get my money back eventually.
Yeah,
Right, and so they can offer more flexible long-term terms.
so anyone's eligible, whether they have the funds or not, like they apply,
It's like so a building owner it's like going to your bank.
Yeah.
So there's special C-PACE lenders, many of which are banks,
Yeah.
and many of which are like subsidiaries of financial institutions, national and local, and they just go apply. And that lending group has to underwrite the borrower and say, yeah, I think you'll pay me back, or not.
clearly I have a lot of questions. The other one is, if we opted in as a town, if the voters opted in, and we're opted in, are we liable for anyone that comes to us to consider them for CPACE? Like, if we opened it up that everything that gets built has to be part of the program, or can we, how do we
They
choose? We
apply
can choose.
themselves.
So but we can say no individually to one group and not the other, or do we have liability to say yes to?
It's you guys that say yes or no.
You would, so we would.
Yeah, we just accept it as a program,
Okay,
and then you say the yes or no, whether they get it or not.
Pretty much, yeah, the town opts in, and
Gotcha.
then
each one's,
potential borrowers apply to lenders,
Okay.
and then those application packages get sent to us, and we review them for compliance, to say,
okay,
are you actually only spending money on the allowed energy efficiency uses?
gotcha.
Right, and that requires engineering certificates and inspections and
Yeah,
a bunch of stuff I won't bore you with unless you wanna know, that we do, to make sure they're following the law. We actually aren't even deciding if it's a good credit risk, right? Like, that's the lender's job to
Okay.
decide, do I wanna lend money to this project?
yeah,
They either do or they don't, totally up to them.
so a municipality will have to opt in before they can go for their financing?
Correct.
Okay, all right, just wanna make sure the timeline. Then I'm back to my original question, what is the deadline that you need
and Artemis is here.
to get your paperwork done?
I'm Roxy Severance, and I'm the owner's representative, and so, we need the money as soon as possible. We'd really like to, keep the project moving along, and it'd be very helpful if the town would consider a special town meeting. And so, we're hoping that, we definitely would help the town out with that, so if we could cover the cost for that, so it's not a burden to the town and the taxpayers. It's just really important to keep us going.
Because my major concern is if we have a special town meeting, number one, the cost. Number two, how many will show up for a special town meeting? So I guess we need to decide how we're gonna move forward with this.
The only thing you do is put out to the people and say, you gotta vote on this, and whether they show up or not, it's,
Yeah,
you can't force them in, but
right, no, I understand that, but we, what?
Oh, sorry, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Troy.
Yeah.
But I know there's individuals in town that are concerned, people do not show up. but,
But I think the first step is to ask the courts if it's allowable on these circumstances, and if it is, then we can move forward.
okay,
But I know it's tough to get
yeah,
a special town meeting set up with,
Yeah, and we cover the costs, so.
Yeah.
There is a deadline for when you can register by to ask for a special meeting also.
for a special town meeting,
Yes,
okay. Other than our annual one,
right.
okay,
And I was just trying to see if I could pull it up off my phone, because I just got the calendar today,
yeah,
but I didn't bring it with me.
okay,
It is listed on there.
okay.
Yeah, so I think, it sounds like, and I've had this presentation a couple of times now, and it really does, even though it doesn't make sense, it's so hard to really understand why the town's playing any role whatsoever in this process, but I think you just provided a really good explanation.
Yeah.
You know, this is why nobody participated in the program the last 15 years, and the changes that has just occurred down in Concord has definitely taken that risk and the burden off the town. So it's a good benefit from what I heard last week when Governor Ayotte was touring Artemis and the investors and developers there. And I asked the question, like, why you're in the process of building this building, you have your financing. And the response I received back was that this funding can go back and sort of cover the costs that have already been financed. And the big selling point for the developer was that this, when the loan's secured, it provides equity to the actual project. It's not really debt. So they're able to leverage additional funding because they already have
Right.
instant equity into the project, which normally that doesn't occur. And they're looking to accelerate their project plans out there. They have a couple different phases. So this program would work out nicely for the project that they're doing to accelerate those plans, which is going to be a big benefit for the town of Littleton and the area. So the real question comes down to legally, can we have a special town meeting? And I think that starts off with our legal counsel first, just asking that question. And then I believe, in order to have one, the Department of Revenue Administration will also
to weigh
play a
in.
role in
Yeah.
whether or not granting you authority to move forward. So that can easily be done at really no cost, minimal cost to the town to get that answer. Once we have it, then I think we just, the only concern I have is, I don't like special town meetings. I know a lot of voters don't like it either, and this, because it's just kind of unique and strange, I think the voters could be a bit skeptical, so we would have to be very well prepared, to have a very informative presentation to assure the taxpayers that there is no financial risk to the town
Right.
whatsoever. And so that's the greatest concern I was having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want this to be perceived that the select board is trying to do something very quickly under the radar with a special
Right.
town meeting to help a private developer. That'd be my greatest concern.
because the last time we did a special meeting is for the town to purchase a big piece of land. And we spent some time just to convince people that we needed to do this, and it took time. It just wasn't, call them up and say, we need one, okay, go ahead.
Right,
There was reasons, paperwork,
right,
just a whole bunch of details I had to go through, even, with the state. And from what I'm understanding, the select board couldn't make that decision anyway until this bill that's been put in is passed, correct?
Right, yeah, the
Yeah.
current law, and again, I'm not with the project.
Yep, yep.
right,
I'm not
right,
advocating for or against
Yep,
special
right.
town meeting. The law says if you're a city, you can use your council. If you're a town that has adopted a charter, right, there are certain types of charters that empower the select board to make certain types of ordinances. There's only a few of those in the state. And for basically everybody else who is a town meeting town,
Right.
it says it will be at your annual town meeting.
Yeah.
All right, so where do we go from here? We have to go legal counsel
Oh, yeah,
first?
let's work on getting a response as to whether or not we could even consider having a special town meeting. And then we go from there.
Okay,
But the good news is, what I've heard tonight is timing. A lot of times, this board is faced with deadlines because there's a certain amount of federal funds that are available. And the turnaround time, the deadline to get your grant application in is like tomorrow.
right,
There's not an award of a lump sum of federal money that's sitting around there. This is private money, and so it literally is accessible to the developer at any time of the year, as long as it has the town approval.
Yeah, that's correct. This is not a federal program. It's not even really a state program.
Yeah,
It just requires
it's just a
a
State
body
guidelines,
to get
right?
people through it, right?
Right.
That's us,
Right.
yeah.
If I could make one more plea, and that is, we've to date, as of today, we've had 103 people reach out to us and ask when we're gonna open, and, so many of them need assisted living, and, particularly memory care. There's a lot of people who need the memory care, and the sooner we can get that open, so that these people
Right.
have a place to go, a safe place to go, and a place that really, will take care of them well and respect their dignity. So if we can move on this, I ask on their behalf to help us do that as quickly as possible.
okay, well, the next step, my understanding from Troy is we have to go to legal first, and then we'll decide from there. Am
Yeah.
I right on that? Okay. All right. And you have all her contact
Yeah,
information? Okay.
Roxy and I have all
Okay.
contact information.
Okay, all right, okay.
Thank you.
So any last words?
Yeah, sorry, just to be helpful,
Yep.
so this wasn't there 2 weeks ago, it is now. If you go to the NHBFA website,
Mm-hmm,
click on the loan programs button, you'll see CPACE now. It's
Okay.
live, it's there.
okay,
That has what we call our program guidebook, all the model ordinances, it's the final versions of, I think, yours were, I don't know, I see what you're referring to, I don't know when you got that one, but,
No, I think this is the
The
final.
guidebook, that's what I gave them.
Yeah, it's newer, I
Contact
think.
with them.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, you've just been released just a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so you.
It actually
that's
C
one.
Pacer, it's called.
It is C-Pacer, you're right.
We renamed it, so they added the R.
It is the R.
Sounds like a car race.
C
I-
Pacer.
It's just, it's like, I can't stop saying C-Pace, because that's what it was called, but it's all there, so for your legal review,
yeah,
like, get that, and then
and then we'll move forward.
we can help you if you wanna talk, so.
Okay,
Thank you.
good,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks.
You have,
Appreciate your time.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
coming.
traveling
Thank
up,
you so much.
James, to present this to us. It's
Yeah.
very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, don't thank me, I'm here like every other weekend, so it's,
Yeah,
I love it.
it's kind of pretty up here, huh?
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, DPW project updates. Eric, you're on.
Okay, so just want to give a brief overview of how busy the year has been.
Just a
So
little.
I'm sure that most everybody's seen the sweeper out. We had that early in the year. We were able to purchase a brand new 2025. I checked the mileage on it today. Apparently it has 1,240 miles on it.
Wow.
And then anybody that's seen the sweeper moving, it does move very fast. So it's a lot of hours that it's been out there. And we've got all 525 catch basins scheduled to be cleaned and inspected
Oh, good.
by that this fall.
Yeah.
In June, we purchased, well, it wasn't until July, but we ordered the 2025 F600, and that was delivered in July. It's currently at HP Fairfields in Hopkinton, New Hampshire, getting outfitted. With money that we saved from the estimates, going with a new dealer, we're able to add a wing that wasn't spec'd out. This is in we're trying to get more efficient, spend less time on the road, make less passes, helps with the manning, issues that we've had in the past.
Yeah.
And we still were able to come in at budget. So,
Good.
we paving, currently at 98% completed. Just little projects that we have to finish up. Culverts, the telephone, shouldn't say telephone, electrical pole project on Main Street. So we finished that, approximately 2.9 miles of road, 1,500 feet of sidewalk, 118 feet of full reclaim on Railroad Street. We exposed and raised 8 structures that were previously paved over and not accessible. We replaced 4 failing culverts on that road at the same time. And all total, by the end of the season, we will have replaced 17 culverts that have been failing in town. New employees. We have 5 new employees in the last 12 months at Highway. One unfortunately passed away this spring, and another one has left. So we filled 3 open positions. Currently we have 2 positions out on medical, and one of them is questionable for a return. So technically, we're at 100%, but we're not.
Right.
We're kind of used to it, but we're looking forward. Fall work, guardrails on Purchase Lake are one side is definitely going to get completed this year. We have a week of sewer cleaning scheduled for the end of September. That's going to happen throughout town. As I mentioned earlier, the 525 catch basins.
Wow.
That's great.
Sweep leaves, catch basin replacements. There is roughly a half a dozen that are going to get replaced as well this fall. Fall grading, and we're currently hauling sand for the winter season. On the projects, I know this is probably tops on everybody's list, the Cottage Street project. We ran into, unfortunately, design delays, and we didn't redesign the project, but the information that the engineers had and the information that was put into the design, when they got out to do the actual fact finding, where's our structures at? The new structures, having a 3-foot sump on them that currently isn't there, would have put it directly on the water line. So it was in the plans to dogleg around the new structures. When we approached Water and Light, there was just, wasn't happy, you know. We've come up with a solution that doesn't create redesign or a whole new design. And the cost-saving efforts of just using existing structures that have been inspected, that was part of the work this summer, to inspect the structures for their integrity, and to work with what's there and not change the line, saves us about $80,000. The issue came up with this work that we did, the subcontractors, or the contractors' subcontractors, weren't available to start. And that's what I was pushing for this year, is to get shovels in the ground and do a portion of it this year. So it's been pushed out to 2026. I'm working with the state. The state's not exactly happy that we didn't get part of this going this year. But it looks like it's going to be a wash. There shouldn't be any additional costs. The only thing we're missing out on is the project sector. So I think that's a win, to work with everybody and have something that's going to work without any issues with somebody having to go back and dig something up, or not being able to get to a structure, or not being able to get to a water line when you need to. I think overall it was the best thing.
Yeah, I know you've been working hard on this, and it's been a maze of lines down through there. is kind of what held us up, and I appreciate your time for
Yeah,
making this right, so we don't have to go back.
That's been my whole goal.
Yeah,
It really has. Is I want to do things.
Want to do
once.
it right.
Yeah. yeah.
The same
Thank you.
people can work on it next year in spring? The
Yes.
same crew?
Yep.
Good.
Palmer Brook. So, the application was put in. That was 75-25.
yeah,
We, warrant article number 6 last year, we
Yeah.
put our 500,000. Unfortunately, I have bad news on this. So, our application sat on FEMA's desk for an additional 60 days. And in that time, they changed their benefit cost analysis, their BAC, which pre-COVID was 7.0. After COVID, it was lowered to 3.1%. And what that does is it basically grades your project overall to how good of a project it is, putting this money towards that, and what the benefit's gonna be overall. We were at 1.7 under the old, under the 3.1%, we were at a 1.07. You need a 1.0 minimum. We were the only eligible project, and we were the only project that applied for it. And because they changed the ratings while our project was sitting on the desk for approval,
No.
they dropped us to a 6.8, and they pulled the $1.5 million. It's not dead. We are fighting,
Good,
because,
you should.
my opinion, it's not right.
yeah.
No, that's not,
But
yeah.
it's kind of where we're at right now too.
Their inefficiency shouldn't cost the town
And
the funding.
Chris Warnier, who did the presentation
Mhm.
at the deliberative session, and
Yeah.
myself, we've been fighting. And with the help of Troy, we're coming up with a game plan. We're gonna write a letter
Good.
and kind of try to push this forward, not go away quietly. Dell's Dam, we had the bids come in. We received 6 bids. One was really ineligible because it was incomplete, and the other 5 were over our budget. Met with Troy, we've rejected the bids, but we're gonna negotiate the project. We've spoken with one of the bidders, and he's willing to work with us, and we're willing to figure out. One of the places there is gonna be cost savings is, it wasn't included in it, was parking lot improvements. I added that in there because I couldn't understand why it wasn't in there, and it is an additional cost. So with that, it gets us closer, pushing the work out until next year. The contractor's still able to do it. We just need to come to a price. And it's,
Yeah, how
close
much
are-
over budget is he?
How close are you in price with the contractor at the moment?
so, at the moment, it's about $160,000 over budget. The parking lot improvements were roughly $50,000.
Okay.
And then there's another cost in there that I think can go away
Now, the parking lot improvements, you're thinking the parking lot on Dell's or the parking lot
on Dell's.
on Dell's Road?
There's the drainage
Right.
issues that caused problems last year.
Right,
That wasn't part of the project.
yeah,
I kind of added that in there because that's going to be a staging area.
okay.
So they're going to rework that area anyways.
Mhm.
So automatically, we're down to like 110. So if we can negotiate the bridge
Mhm.
and maybe mobilization, we need to just try to trim the fat
Right,
and see if we can get somebody a good early spring job that
Yeah.
they know and come in and get it done.
yeah,
Well, it's just,
It's frustrating.
it is frustrating.
no, I'm just trying to figure out this, there was some stuff in there that probably could be cut to to a little bit higher, lower standards of, you know, visibility to the eyes. The
Mhm.
bridge that was going in there was pretty nice looking bridge.
Yeah,
And that's the whole goal,
Yeah,
yeah,
to work with the contractor
yeah,
and give and take. Give and take, that's the whole goal.
right,
And see if we can get it to there. I will say, if it wasn't the redesign, cost us extra money last year, when they redesigned that bridge. That was, I wanna say, in the realm of $37,000
yeah,
total. So yeah, that's 80,000 right there.
yeah.
So, but goal is to have somebody committed next spring
Yeah.
to have that done.
Good, keep us informed on
Yeah.
that.
Wastewater treatment plant, probably number 2 on everybody's list.
Way to go.
So in May, we had a new TPO membrane roof applied. The roof that was existing was from, I wanna say, around 89, 90. There were holes in it, leaking, to where it was leaking in the lab. We've got a high voltage room. There's, every corner, there was leaks. H2O's been in the trailer for 20 years. The environment is just not really
Yeah,
compatible with working. So the first thing to do was make sure that the roof wasn't leaking. Cut down on the draft coming through the Key-Wallace and tighten it up. That'll help with the heating. It'll help with the atmosphere control. I have the bid package together for the HVAC work, so that will go out and hopefully we can have that work done throughout the winter months. Come next spring, the goal is to have H2O out of the trailer that's been rented for 20 years and working back in the environment. That's a better environment for our equipment, it's a better environment for H2O, and
yeah,
we free up space at the treatment plant.
right.
So H2O is the people that run the treatment plant, just so they know.
Yes.
So there's savings to move them out of the trailer, right? Because they're
Oh, yeah.
renting it. So that'll save some
Yeah,
money,
so
too.
currently, they pay for that in the contract, so that's part of our
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah,
We remove
But
that.
that means our contract will go down once those trailers go away.
And then, dewatering equipment. I was just on the phone today with, the company that's been working, we've actually had 3 companies there working on that. Problem is the environment that it's in. It's so corrosive, and with electronics, it's not a good mix. They are putting together a bid to come out. We've changed a lot of boards and a lot of programs. We're now back to the company that is not the manufacturer, but they deal with that brand specifically. And I basically told them, I need you guys here to get it fixed. You were here, it ran for 3 days, and something's changed, we need to figure it out.
Yeah.
So they're putting together that bid, well, that estimate, so that I'll have something solid, and the goal is to have someone here in the next week and a half. We had Tex here last Friday, and ended the same way. So we are currently still hauling, but it's not weekly, it's
Okay.
1 week a month.
to Plymouth, or
Yep.
Better than it was,
that was weekly, right?
yeah.
Well, it was for 2 weeks. We did it for 2 weeks
And
straight.
then, yeah,
Because because of trying to get it fixed the first time,
Right,
there was a buildup.
yeah,
So that required 2 weeks. And now it's starting to build up, so it'll probably be 2 weeks, but if it gets fixed, it's gone away. If it doesn't, it'll be a 2 weeks out of 4 weeks type of thing,
yeah.
yeah.
by the time everything builds up. And then, Beale Street Bank, the stabilization project,
Oh, boy.
that's currently working on the site evaluation and pre-design. We have HED engineers working on that. There's not really a lot to report on that, except for that the FEMA money is approximately $13,500 they were put towards the engineering costs on the pre-design. That could change, but that's what they're putting up front. So as the project goes along, that number may change because they'll see what the actual cost of the work is. And then new employees that aren't with the highway department. Matthew Torino has been hired as the facility maintenance. And then the last employee that I hired was Israel Maycutt, who's the wastewater coordinator. And he's gonna be essential to enforcing the IDP, which takes care of the treatment plant. He's got good experience, he comes from a technical background, a great find. I'm looking forward to what he's gonna do with this program. And the benefits are gonna be shown down at the treatment plant, because everything that's put in ends up there.
Yeah.
So if we can clean it up out here, it's gonna make our treatment plant healthier,
Right,
and it's gonna be less stress on it.
right.
And that's, one more, the Mill Street stairs.
Oh, yeah.
I put out a bid, request for proposal package on that. I had one contractor show interest, actually one contractor show up. He's having issues with, employees and concrete. So, nothing that can happen this year, but the price tag on that is roughly $25,000 to $30,000 per stair.
For what? Per,
Is it
I didn't quite hear that.
per,
Per set of
per
stairs.
set of stairs,
Okay.
not per
Stairs.
step?
I heard per
That's
stair.
That's what,
Still.
yeah, when he said per stair, I'm like, okay.
I meant the whole unit.
I'll be there
No.
tomorrow with a shovel.
So, one of the
Why is
things,
everything
that's basically part of our sidewalks.
Right. So how can we
And-
mitigate that to make it safe?
So one of the things this year that we ran out of time, when we lost Danny earlier in the year. Our plan was to use him to excavate a lot of the sidewalk so that the paver just had to pave,
Yeah,
ready to go sidewalks that were taken down to the base redone and put in. I think a lot of people have seen what's done on Union Street. I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
And we should get our 20 years out of that.
yeah,
We have, what my plan is to allocate the money and cover the money from what's left over there. That'll do a set of stairs. And then next year, just plan on doing the other set with that sidewalk money. And we still have the same amount of money to do the same amount of sidewalk.
okay,
So we
It's like shifting them.
yeah,
just kind of shifting the priority
yeah,
of, we're not gonna get as much sidewalk done, but those stairs are used all the time.
yeah.
I've got a temporary fix for one set, but I'm trying to work on figuring out how I can get the treads fixed on another set.
Yeah,
And one thing that may have to happen is they may have to be shut down, just to put that out there. But I am working the situation and looking for a solution. That's the last case scenario for me.
You mean both shut down or just the one that's really
Just
bad
the
though?
The one that's really bad, got a solution for the other one where the railing.
Yeah, that
and
one's
it's
not quite as
broke out.
bad.
Yeah,
Right.
so that should be fixed relatively soon.
I mean, this will be the third time that those have been redone since that's been done down there.
Yeah.
Really?
And one of the problems that I see, originally they had the granite top sitting on them when they first built them. So instead of sending somebody down there with a shovel to shovel them off, they stop with the sidewalk plow and they bale the salt right to them, right to the bottom,
yeah,
and let the snow melt.
yeah.
Well, you know what salt does to concrete?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
That's the major problem. So if we can just take a few minutes and shovel those, instead of bailing the salt to them, they may get a lot longer time.
And there is melt that you can use that's safer for concrete,
Well,
am I
the other
correct?
thing also is the top mount of the railings. with your holes on top of the concrete, the water gets in there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it
that's why,
expands,
that's why
yeah,
the sidewalls are blown apart.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The contractor that I spoke with, he showed me some side mount rails on stairs he's done. And one set was 15 to 20 years old, and the other set was 30 years old. And they look
Yeah.
fairly new.
Right.
So,
Perfect.
yeah,
you know, the other thing is, get away from steel rebar. They make a fiber rebar that doesn't rust from the
Right.
inside out. We just gotta be smarter about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Get a product that lasts longer,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And you had mentioned, Eric, that we treat our concrete sidewalks in Main Street,
Yep,
and we're not sure if those stairs have been treated as well.
yeah. Anything we do with concrete from now on, that's my whole goal. We're gonna do the preventative maintenance
right,
that needs to be done. It's just gonna be part of the workload.
Good.
yeah,
I wanted to just point out again the truck, and I want to compliment Eric for really taking a look at this. I mentioned to him about the F600, and in the budgets, I'm sure that you folks have always heard of F550. And what's happened recently is Ford has come out with this F600, it holds a little bit more weight. It looks like a bigger plow truck, so it's getting away from that traditional landscaper truck to more of your, it's just got a bigger cab.
yeah,
But, so it's gonna have a different look to it, but the wing is gonna be something new for this department. It's a small wing, but when they're doing their initial pass, and if they're able to put the wing down, you're gonna be clearing a lot wider,
Yeah.
each
Oh,
pass.
okay.
So that you're gonna
I
get
it, what it is.
maybe, you know, 1.5 feet off the edge of the road.
right,
So when you have those storms, the real benefit is when you have those storms that are, 3 inches, slush,
yeah,
all that kind of stuff, you're really gonna get, one pass will clear it. This is not a truck that's you're gonna go push your snowbanks back after a
Right.
snowstorm, but, so I'm really hopeful that the department, really likes it, and it starts to become a standard when we replace these smaller trucks. And the other benefit is that you're getting a wing plow, but because of the size of the truck, it doesn't require a CDL to operate. So, we think I've seen it work in other towns, I really hope it works in this town. We'll see how that goes. And I just wanted to point that, about a year ago, I started working for the town, and Eric was my first hire. It was really a promotion. And, I don't, that was the best decision that I've made. I think everyone has seen what Eric's
after
done.
accepting the job offer.
Yeah. And he has worked, he's worked extremely hard for this town,
Yeah.
trying to deal with so many multiple projects. And then the ones that occurred, which weren't even on the radar. And
Yeah.
I've watched him, he's managed it, he stays on top of it. He's working hard 7 days a week for you guys. He even jumped in the plow truck this winter when we were down, man.
Driver, yeah,
So,
yeah. Now, how's the maintenance? That's been a real boon as well, am I correct? The new maintenance position? Well,
Yeah,
it's not a new position, is it? It was a shifting?
so it was a
It was a-
shifting.
it was a shifting,
Yeah,
yeah.
previously, when I was hired, my time was split 75, or originally it was 75, 50-50, 50 building
Right,
and 50 sewer. And within the first year, I talked to Doug and I said, Doug, this isn't gonna work.
right,
So it got shifted to 75-25. So realistically, I was only putting about 40 hours a week in the building maintenance. And when you start to do the legwork for finding contractors,
Yeah.
help Megan at the library with a roof job there.
Yeah.
Help Megan on a couple of other projects with the new rug that was installed a couple of years ago. I've worked with Chief Smith. I've worked with, my time just got eaten up
Yeah.
really quickly.
Yeah.
So we really need to concentrate on the collection system, wastewater treatment plant. Town this size, we don't have a dedicated sewer department.
Right,
And, you know, we have 64 miles of road. The guys that we have at Highway try to pull double duty, and we're not where we need to be.
Right.
So that was kind of my, let's bring in a guy to take over the IDP, really control what's getting put into the system, get everybody into compliance, and help the treatment plant out.
yeah,
And then I was able to, with part-time money, hire the building maintenance guy. And he stays under 28 hours a week, which is more hours than I was able to put towards it. And he's able to do the legwork to
Right.
find contractors for these department heads. And he helps out with sidewalks, he helps out with bridges. Anything I ask him to, and that's what he want me to do.
yeah,
He's helped out at the pool this year. I know he's been a help at the Opera House in Parks and Rec.
yeah,
You know, just with knowledge, ask questions, somebody to go to.
yeah.
He's there. It's 3 days a week, but it's,
We're moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, and I think to Troy's credit as well, is Eric put Ralph in, is Ralph in your position or in Billy's position? Or
Ralph's
is
in
it
Billy's
in
position.
Billy's position? And from my understanding, he's been doing a remarkable job.
Yeah.
And
You can't,
I'm thrilled by that.
the 26 years now of institutional knowledge that Ralph has,
I know,
and he cares.
yeah,
He's one of the most dedicated and reliable people
yeah,
that you can ask for.
yeah,
I don't have to question if he's gonna be there.
yeah,
If he's not, I get a call, I get a text.
yeah. And he can run any of the machines down there as well, am I correct? I do have a question for you. You mentioned the culverts. You're putting 2 culverts in up on Elm Street? Because the street's been closed.
Yes. So, the street was closed last
And it was closed today.
Thursday and Friday.
And it was closed today.
Yes, to finish up. Yep.
Yes, it was closed today. I tried to drive up Elm Street, it was closed. So he said, no, it wasn't.
So that culvert was replaced.
Yeah.
And then we've got an issue on Lilac Lane with the
Yeah.
sinkhole.
Now, you had, the pipes I saw, there were 2 pipes. How far into the properties do those culverts go?
So, we spoke with, one is in the right of way
Okay?
on the western side of
And they
Elm
go,
Street.
are they going across under the street or are they going next to the street?
Under the street.
Under the street, okay,
And then
okay.
the other one, Ralph spoke with the homeowner
Yeah,
and explained the situation.
Yeah.
And they were like,
oh, yeah,
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what we did, extend the pipe,
okay.
because the sidewalk narrowed right there,
Yeah,
and it's a safety issue.
yeah,
So we extended the pipe so we could change the slope and give more,
and the sidewalk,
more room
yeah,
on the sidewalk.
yeah,
And the homeowner was like, absolutely.
yeah. Good, I look forward to driving over it now. Okay, anything else?
I think that's it.
That's enough, I think that's enough projects for you.
So, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, when you look at the list of what Eric has done this year, it's just, it kind of boggles the mind of everything he's gotten accomplished. So my hat's off to you, Eric. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, the minutes for the 28th of July meeting, we have to reapprove because of some of the verbiage.
I have a question on the presenter. Are we allowed to ask questions of the presenters? I have my hand up back here.
Do you want
I
to,
would,
I apologize to send right in.
Okay.
I think we should just, that was a presentation for the board, I think we
Yeah.
should just stay
Is
on
it,
the
is it a
agenda.
quick 1-minute question?
Yes, it's
Okay,
called the Cottage Street
okay,
sidewalk.
okay.
I was just curious, there's a section up from Mount Eustis up to your head property that's been repaired, and so it's a nice, like, walkable, smooth, rolling sidewalk. How come the rest of the sidewalk going down hasn't been repaired at all?
Because this year, it was supposed to have been part of that project.
The Cottage Street project.
Okay, so that,
The patch was done last year,
right,
and we addressed as much as we could with as minimal time and materials as we could, as a cost-saving issue,
Yeah.
knowing that the project was scheduled to have started in June of this year.
okay. So there wasn't, I mean, like, a reason why you started at that point up there, it was just like, let's start somewhere and let's keep moving.
It was, we wanted to address the worst parts of the sidewalk at that point in time.
Okay. Okay, all right, no, thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. All right, so the minutes, we need reapproval of the motion wording for the state approval on the
Highway
grant funding.
For July 28th.
Right. That's the PD hearing, correct? Am I correct?
Oh,
Do we have to say, do we just need a motion
I-
to approve them? Or do we have to read that again?
I think I want to read the motion again.
Okay.
It's on that item number 2, correct?
I think it's in the cover letter here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the motion, the proper verbiage on the motion is the select board in a majority vote accepted the, excuse me, could you silence
sorry.
that, please? The select board in a majority vote accepted the terms of the highway safety grant as presenting in the amount of $12,300, and the amended grant terms as presented, the grant agreement amendment notice in the amount of $8,229.60 for an adjusted total grant limitation of $20,529.60. That is the correct verbiage that is needed for that grant. So I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes from 7/28 with the corrected verbiage.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Paul, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 4-0. All right, minutes from 8/25 meeting. Any comments, corrections, adjustments?
I read them over and I didn't see anything, but I've been known to miss things. Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Okay, so I'll entertain, any other comments or? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented from 8/25 Board of Selectmen's meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
4-0, Vicky. Okay, town manager updates?
Okay, I don't have an update this evening. One thing I have is, I'd like to try to coordinate a meeting this coming Thursday, the 11th, either at 4 or 5 p.m. I'm trying
Subject?
to get time for the board to meet with MRI, Municipal Resources Incorporated,
Okay.
as they're just finalizing their overtime study for the fire department. And we're kind of like the last piece of the puzzle for that report.
This will be a public meeting?
It would be a public meeting.
Could do it Wednesday, huh?
I know Wednesday I can at 4, but I can't Thursday at 4.
Well, that's,
I can do it Wednesday at 4.
The
What
10th.
about you, Paul?
We'll do 4 o'clock.
On Wednesday?
Okay.
4 o'clock on Wednesday?
Yay.
see if we can.
Okay, so on the 10th, that'll work for you too, Carrie?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in here now if we wait one
So
second.
Yeah.
I'll be in touch with you to make sure MRI can be there, and they'll be on Zoom.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be at the town
That'll be at the town.
At the
office.
town offices. So it will be a public meeting in the town offices with MRI. Okay.
So it's about the overtime stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, 9, 10 at
Well,
4 p.m.
I mean, we either be here or the venue. I'll have to determine. where
Okay.
it's gonna be,
Okay.
All right.
Because I know that there's been some questions and concerns about having public meetings.
Yeah,
at
okay,
the,
that's fine.
Town office.
That's fine. I don't know whether.
But I'll be in touch with them. I'll
Emails.
let you know the
Okay.
location, and in fact, if MRI can do 4.
Okay.
That'd be nice if we can get that done.
Yeah.
At that session. So that's all I have for my report. We're like right now just starting to jump into the budget development. And so almost on a daily basis, you know, I'm meeting with various department heads, boards and committees going over their budgets. I think you're aware that, if you're not aware, Lori's got her plate full, where her assistant is out on maternity leave. So she's doing payroll, accounts payable, budget, so her plate's full.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone's really busy, but we'll get through it.
Okay. Old business, the Littleton Off-Road Riders lease agreement, Troy?
Yeah, so the last time, this is old business, as you know, it's been before the board a few times. And I'm very pleased this evening that we have, I believe, a final product. The last time we met, there was some concerns raised that we didn't have the Exhibit A for review. And since that time, you have a copy of that, which clearly shows the area that's being proposed for lease and the area that we're gonna continue to use together as a shared common area. Legal has done its review. There was not really any major findings. There is just really some suggested language at the end where we have some better clarification on termination and governing law and binding effect.
Which part was changed?
At the end,
On page, oh, they're not really
yeah,
numbered.
so the one I handed out is.
Is the
not-
updated?
Yeah, it doesn't show it, I noticed that the double sided isn't right, so. But there was an amendment in your booklet, you'll see,
Yeah.
in section
Oh,
10
yeah.
and section 11,
Yep.
just those sections, so just legal things. And we talked about property tax payment, and the assessor, the club has been filling out paperwork,
Okay.
and the assessor reviewed it, and has pretty much said he believes it'd be tax exempt. He's aware that other towns that he does work for, that the clubs are tax exempt in those towns.
Yeah.
So that process will be an administrative process for any other group, club, organization. They submit paperwork, and eventually it's gonna make its way to you to sign off on, and that will come through as a
Because they're a
determination. that it's
nonprofit.
a
Right.
nonprofit.
Yeah, okay.
Not all nonprofits meet the criteria.
It depends, yeah, what
But-
category.
but this
Right.
one,
Category.
does. So, yeah, I think we're good to go. The club, I've been working with the club, they've been reviewing everything, they're good with it. With the document that I did hand out, the last few pages, you'll see where they've shown
Yeah.
the proposed signage.
Yeah, it looks
Because I had
good.
raised
Yeah.
concerns about
I like
signage, making sure the town, the select board, we just wanted to make sure we understand what kind of signage is gonna be displayed, what the language is gonna be. But they've come up with some really good renderings of
Yeah, it
the
looks
sign that they're gonna put on that
good.
steel, the existing steel
Right.
building.
Right.
And then a footprint of what they're planning to accomplish this year. And that is to put those two steel storage units in place and just connect in between them with galvanized chain link fencing.
Right.
There won't be any hoop constructed over the top of the two, not for this year. So,
So it's gonna be sort of the same design that they have down at Schofield? Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on where the money comes from.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
whether
Okay.
it could end up like the one behind the fire department.
okay,
It could be one of the,
okay,
as I call it, portable style.
yeah, okay,
But yes,
Yeah.
it's the roof for all
Yeah.
our equipment to be contained in the building.
right,
So nothing's parked everywhere.
right.
So,
Well, it's easier for you guys too when you have to get to stuff,
oh yeah.
yeah. So where do we, at this point, we're looking for a motion to accept?
yeah, to authorize
Okay,
authorize the town manager to execute the lease
all right,
agreement.
I will read the motion and then we can have a discussion. I move that the select board authorize the town manager to finalize the 5-year lease agreement as approved by the 2025 town meeting. between the town of Littleton and Littleton Off-Road Riders, contingent upon final review and approval by legal counsel. So any questions for Troy or for either one of the members that are here?
I just think if everybody's happy, then
Yeah, I think they've worked, the guys have worked really hard on that, and I know Troy has as well, and I appreciate the time and
Yeah,
effort
and
you
the
guys put in.
You got a good lease, it's a good lease agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we've
I think
covered
it's
all our
gonna be a
bases.
benefit. It's gonna be.
We wanted to wait till it was right.
Yeah,
Now it looks,
I'll
yeah,
make
Looks
that
good.
motion.
okay, Roger makes the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Carrie second. Any other questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 4-0, Vicky. Congratulations, gentlemen.
And you go make your sign.
Yes,
I'll get it cleaned up, we'll get it.
Now
yeah,
we need to get to work.
Yeah,
yeah, before the
got
snow.
3 months.
We
Two.
got, we got lots of snow this winter, right?
32 degrees tonight.
It's gonna snow on Washington.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Okay, all right, new business.
Do we have any other? I think Roger has one
Something
more.
about
Oh, did you
old
have-
business.
Did you have something to add to that? Roger? I'm sorry.
As far as old business goes, I want to get back to Bertha.
We've been talking about her in a
I
while.
know.
Where is she?
Kind of in limbo. She's still down there where it got restored,
Okay.
waiting on us to make the final decision. Bill the Tulip has some more information on it. If I could get him to speak for a minute, just to let us know what's going on.
Sure.
Okay, so Bertha was in 1931, America of France.
Yep.
Named her birth. She belonged to Eureka Hose Company Volunteer Fire Department. And that's, she was purchased through them, first 1,000 gallon pump that they bought. So then the town decided that they wanted to operate the Littleton Fire Department. So they bought the assets, or however they traded to them. They, in 2022, okay, we sold Bertha to David Holton. He was the
Yeah.
interim fire chief for $4,500. His deal was he would restore it and only charges for material. He only charges
Right.
for labor. And so the cost of the truck, it's all done, it's been done for a few months, was $40,000. Eureka Hose Company has picked up we've raised $22,000 right now,
Great,
and we still owe 18.
yeah.
But the problem, well, the reason why we want to buy it back is the town of Littleton, they wanted it back. Because we sold it and, they wanted it back, and so we're respecting that part of it, that we'll try to get it back for them. But again, we're on a little bit of a deficit. Trying to get it. So I've been working on trying to get people to donate more money and all that stuff. It's been pretty tough, so I got an email from David, and he's doing some other trucks. So he's given us, I started doing this collections the fundraising a year ago on the firewood and stuff. But the truck has got to be out of there the end of this month, and we still owe 18,000.
Yep.
So I'm not asking the town for any money right now. I would just, if you have people that you know that might be interested in donating, really would appreciate it.
Yeah.
So,
And the donations go to Eureka Hose,
Eureka
because
Hose.
Eureka Hose is a nonprofit,
it's a yeah.
So it can be right up.
yes.
And we started trying to get a GoFundMe program together.
Yeah,
And we did that, but we're waiting for our QR
QR code?
QR code?
QR code to come.
We just received it
You did get it?
while we were in this meeting.
Good, good.
Sorry, yes.
So they have so you do have a GoFundMe page
It should start tomorrow.
to raise the last of
tomorrow.
the last
It's already
18,000.
on the
It's on
website.
the website.
So,
Come on.
up
So you
and
want
Okay.
people to share
Do you,
that?
do you think he would be amenable if we give him you give him the 22,000, amenable to get the rest of the money from us
I don't know.
with an agreement?
No, I think he was pretty
He wants
He's
the
pretty
40.
adamant about that?
about getting his full amount of money. But I
Well,
don't-
ask him.
But he's been very, very generous to us
Yeah,
because
yes.
it's been a long time, and now he needs room because he's got 2 more
Right.
trucks coming in.
Do we have a place to store it?
That's what I
At
think
this
we need to
moment,
discuss.
So
I
that's
have-
the other piece of this thing we need.
Yes, yes. The other thing is, I've looked at several places in town,
Mhm.
okay? I'm waiting to hear back from 2 of them,
Okay,
but it's gotta be heated
yeah,
because everything's brand new.
right.
Can't just leave it parked. I don't know if there's enough room in the highway garage where we could store it in there for like a couple months.
Somebody just laughed.
Yeah.
That's your answer, I guess.
That's the
It's not a great time to ask you, right?
It's called negotiation.
Well, it was gonna go in the Opera House basement.
Yes.
And you were
Right.
trying to explain to me yesterday when we talked
Yeah.
about the
Right.
size of the doors, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
it used to have trucks under there, so it
The
But-
truck, that truck.
was there,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it
but
was
push
a
has
small-
come to shove now. We've got to find a place for it.
I mean, it's
in a
3
month.
weeks, the guy
Yeah.
needs it out of his place in 3 weeks.
You know, I was saying something to Roger about the building we have down by the senior center, where we were talking, you guys were talking, putting
Oh,
bathrooms
The Red
down.
Barn,
The Red Barn.
Red Barn.
is it heated?
No,
You can put heat in it, heat's easy to do, but I'm just saying, if we have to change the front of the door, I had a drawing of it, and Mike, what's his name, used to be the fire chief here, he had it,
Mhm.
I gave it to him. But to take that building and restore it, the front of it, so it has the big sliding door, but an overhead door on the inside, you got room enough to put those things in there.
It's
yeah,
creeping up in the back.
In the
Yeah.
back part of that's all insulated.
That,
But I'm
that's
just
not
saying,
very good shape.
it's, if your town wants to have their own thing,
yeah, yeah.
but,
All right.
yeah.
So,
And-
so then the urgency is we need to find a place to put her,
Right,
and we need to still raise $18,000 to get her back.
Or potentially more if you have to pay for a place to put it.
Right.
I know the Haverhill Fair, they'll let like RVs park in there and things like
Not
that.
heated.
But it's not heated.
How about Lancaster, their buildings
I
are
don't
heated?
have
no,
Aren't
no
it?
heated.
Okay, I thought I got a great idea.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, the
It
heated
has to
part,
be a
I know.
yeah, I
Yeah.
found one building that people are selling, and they have 2 bays, and I called them today, and we're working on that.
Okay, good.
That we could possibly rent that, because then they're waiting for the paperwork to go through and all that stuff. So we could be 3 to 6 months to use it if I can put it together.
Right, okay.
So maybe ask for
Yeah, it
20,000
is
with
a
the
lot of work,
GoFundMe,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just-
so.
because you might have to go
Okay.
over to pay for.
All right, anything else? No?
No,
Well, thank you for going to bat for Bertha.
Go to bat for
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to see her come back to town too.
A lot of history here, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, any other old business? Okay, then new business, any Board of Selectmen topics?
We've got new business, don't we?
Oh, we do have new business, I checked it off before we got to it, sorry. So new business, the commitment to timely negotiate for pilot agreement resolution. You wanna present that, Troy?
Yeah, so this is a result of our discussion last week when we were talking during the public hearing with the Great River Hydro pilot agreement. And at that point in time, I think someone in the audience had mentioned that the town has several of these pilot agreements in the past. We've probably not done a good job in renegotiating them in a
Right.
timely manner, and there was concern raised. The chair agreed with that and said, we'll address that and establish some type of policy or procedure. So what I've done is prepared a resolution for the board which sets policy. It's entitled "A Commitment to Timely Negotiation of Pilot Agreements," and it sets forth, I think we put 18 months, so that
Right.
prior to these pilot agreements expiring 18 months, we would make contact with those organizations or businesses and begin negotiations. I think that's more than enough time, and it keeps your pilot agreements alive, fresh in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So do we need to adopt the motion and then read the agreement, the resolution?
Yeah,
Or read the resolution first?
I think you'd read the resolution
Okay.
first and then make a motion to adopt the
Okay.
resolution.
The Select Board Resolution Commitment to Timely Negotiation of Pilot Agreements. Whereas the town of Littleton relies on payment in lieu of taxes agreements to provide predictable and stable revenue for essential municipal services, and whereas the timely renewal and negotiation of pilot agreements is critical to protecting the town's financial interests and ensuring that negotiations are conducted in a deliberate, well-planned manner, and whereas delays in initiating negotiations have in the past created unnecessary risks of lost revenue and forced negotiations to occur under compressed timelines. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Littleton Selectboard that 1, the town of Littleton shall formally commit to beginning negotiations for all pilot agreements no later than 18 months prior to their scheduled expiration. 2, the town manager shall be responsible for tracking pilot agreement expiration dates and providing timely notification to the select board to initiate the negotiation process. 3, this policy shall apply to all existing and future pilot agreements entered into by the town. 4, the intent of this resolution is to safeguard municipal revenue, provide consistency in long-term financial planning, and ensure that negotiations are conducted fairly, transparently, and without undue haste. This resolution, if is adopted, was adopted by the Littleton Board of Selectmen on Monday, September 8th, 2025, and shall take effect immediately. So questions, comments?
Yeah. If the negotiations come to where you have to, you got a pilot that's expiring, and the best thing to have to do is go back into a negotiation with a non-pilot, is there a clause in here to get us out of a pilot, which means it doesn't have to stay pilot?
Well, it's just a negotiation.
I think that would be the
That's what
outcome
they,
of the
yeah,
negotiation.
the negotiation would,
Just that you have to
It's-
start it before the next one expires, but you don't
Correct.
have to sign another pilot.
right. So if we have a pilot agreement that expires on March 31st, 2026, almost a full year ago, we should have started negotiating either a new pilot or ending the pilot. Either or.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
I
answer
understand
Roger's
that.
question, what would happen, Roger, is that this is saying that the board is gonna establish policy for, starting that process 18 months prior to expiration. It also charges the town manager with the responsibility of bringing it to the board. So I would bring this to the board 18 months prior to the expiration. And at that time, the board could vote to say, we are absolutely not interested in pursuing a pilot agreement with business X. Please proceed forward with negotiation of businesses X, Y, and Z. Or it could be on position, I'm not sure if we really want a pilot, but let's proceed with negotiations and we'll just assess where we're at
Right.
before any agreement was made.
Just
So I think that's the
Right.
way it
We
would
wouldn't be
play out.
locked in.
Yeah.
Correct.
I like it because I don't like being rushed, or,
Yeah.
Well,
No,
absolutely.
it's just too much.
We have one right
Too
now
many
that's expired in
questions,
April.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have,
Yeah.
I've got,
I appreciate
I
this.
have
Resolution.
14
Yeah,
pilots right now.
right, and it's not your
Right.
fault.
We
Just,
gotta
we didn't have this
get resolved
resolution.
before,
Right,
January 1st.
yeah.
So I think this needs to be put into place, because I think going forward, we need to be able to start negotiating sooner than later.
Oh,
And
yeah.
not have like what we just.
Oh, absolutely.
what
But
we
I just
came
wanted to
through.
make sure I
So I
wasn't
think-
walking us in.
No,
No,
no.
right, because we
No.
might choose not to do some pilots, for
No,
sure.
because I think the timely let me see, where is it?
Is it number 1?
Yeah, beginning negotiations for all pilot
Yeah,
all
they-
pilot
right.
agreements no later than 18 months prior to their expiration.
And it might not get negotiated,
So
it might
you-
take that long. It might
Right.
take 12 months to figure
Right.
it out, but at least you start them.
I mean, rather waiting until a month
Yeah.
or 6 months after the pilot is expired and we end up with an abatement.
Mm.
So I think this will benefit the
Yeah.
town. I think it'll help.
Overdue, it's
Yeah.
overdue.
Yeah.
We'll make it so it doesn't happen like what happened last year.
Right.
Yes, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to read the motion? Let me read the motion.
Sure.
I move that the select board approve the commitment to timely negotiation of pilot agreements resolution as recommended by town manager Brown.
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions or more discussion?
I think it's good.
Okay, I made the motion, Carrie seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passed 4-0.
Only problem with that is the spelling on the last name. It's gonna be changed. Come on.
What'd you spell wrong? What?
What did you spell wrong?
Which word?
You did that?
Sometimes I
I'm
don't.
sorry, Vicky, for this.
I thought I was a good editor, but which one? No, I missed the spell. Oh, double M.
Yeah.
Spelled his name wrong.
Just write
All
it.
right.
That's okay.
We'll get it corrected and then we can go in and sign it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. But-
Well, we'll be there Wednesday. We can all sign it Wednesday.
Yes, okay, all right, okay. No more, any more Board of Selectmen topics?
I don't think I have anything. That's unlike me.
Okay.
I usually have a lot to say.
Yeah, I think the only thing,
Oop.
the only thing I wanted to come back and revisit are the sealed minutes that we need to review. That Carrie and I will start that process. We will look at our schedules and figure out how we're gonna go forward with that. At the next meeting, we should be able to present how we're gonna
Did
deal with
we
it.
already explain to people what that process is?
Yes,
We did? Okay.
Yes, way-
By law, it's a state,
way
it's a law.
back,
We have-
way back, what, July, maybe?
We talked about it? Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk on Wednesday, bring your calendar and we can set some dates up.
All right, okay. All right.
Also, union negotiations, when those dates, will you let Paul and us know when they're more solid? So we can, okay, cool.
All right. Okay, now I'm gonna open it up for public comment. We have 3 minutes for anybody who'd like to speak. December?
Yeah,
Time?
yeah, well, just with the mention that it's gonna be 32 tonight, and I know those of us that already, sleep outside Littleton, already wearing our winter jackets. And this mention here of trying to make sure Bertha is nice and warm, so, without mentioning any sort of shelter option, because that's a third party, what are the steps that the town is doing right now to ensure that we have a place to be warm? The human beings that are Littleton residents that are currently outdoors, what is the steps that you folks are taking? What's the emergency? How does it get declared so that you can actually start, offering us emergency housing? How does that work?
Can I answer that?
You know the answer to that?
Does anybody-
I don't think there's an official start time. There is, again,
Oh,
what the town has is through its welfare department, individuals can come and apply for assistance, and some assistance can be housing anytime. And the determination is made whether or not there's a need or not. So that there's no official deadline or time that opens the door up for the opportunity to do that.
Well, there's an emergency, I understand it's a welfare issue, but there's an emergency housing option on the application, which has to do with emergency housing, so I'm wondering how is that defined for cold weather? Because
So
the town,
it's not defined by cold weather.
okay,
That's what I said.
Okay.
The applicant would need to come and
Yeah.
clearly explain that it's an emergency situation.
Mhm.
And all factors by the welfare director would be reviewed to determine if in their mind it truly is an emergency and it's needed.
Okay, and so how does cold weather, because we were granted stays at Eastgate this last winter from mid-January to mid-March. So how is that decided? Because I couldn't get an answer from CO last winter, and I know, but does the board does any other department of the town play any role in saying, hey, it's cold enough? Because I can't get an answer from CO as to what's cold enough, what constitutes an emergency, because it's
What a
not
number.
an arbitrary number.
Yeah,
What constitutes an emergency across a human being level of what's too cold to be sleeping on the ground?
They leave that
Okay.
RSA so open, that's the
yeah,
issue.
Well,
I
wouldn't, yeah,
I don't
again,
have an
it's-
answer for that, but we can do some research and try to get you one.
Okay.
I
Is that
don't-
okay?
You can't answer the question because, again,
Something
it's the review of the application. Someone may decide they want to sleep on the ground
Yeah,
and not spend their own money to pay for a hotel room. or not take the time and initiative to try to find adequate shelter.
But
So every case is different, every individual is different. So that's, you can't answer the question.
Right.
As far as a welfare director reviewing applications,
So the town doesn't have any, okay, so there isn't,
town does not have.
it's solely on a
policy.
per, on a per
That's correct.
client
Right.
basis, has nothing to do with cold weather.
Nothing. It's
Oh,
always needed.
Okay.
I think I explained that last year as well. Yeah.
well, I mean, I just wanted to
Year,
make sure.
finances.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments, please? No? Okay.
My name's Mike Carbonell, sorry for the early interruptions. I'm a lifetime member of the town of Littleton. My family owns land pretty much all over the town. Most recently though, I own a stretch of land along the Ammonoosuc River, about 2,700 feet of frontage. And 4 times this summer, I've had to deal with people making encampments on my land, trashing my land, making an outhouse on my land, cutting my trees down. And I guess I'm here partially to express frustration, but also,
Right, I understand
I remember a year or two ago, I believe we as a town voted out no camping on Littleton land, and that just continuously happens. So I'd like some answers on how we're dealing with that.
that. Chief, do you have any answers? Thank you, Jim.
Here a little bit, so you have to turn around a little. Not really different. So we are addressing the no camping. Okay, that is a violation level offense, and as a violation is only finable. There's no jail time or anything associated with the violation. Violation is not a crime. Okay, it is a violation of the law, but it's not a crime. A felony and misdemeanor crimes. In regards to your piece of property, if we have trespassed individuals from your property, if they go back after being told they can't be there, that's different. You could choose to post it, which would make us so we wouldn't have to tell them first. Trespass is a misdemeanor if the person has been told to leave. Okay, in this state, generally, unless your property is posted, someone has the ability to walk through it, go on it, like all that stuff. So simply being there doesn't constitute a criminal offense. If you post it, it would, because if someone goes by a legally posted property line that says no trespassing, then they've been noticed, and if they're there, then you can arrest them on a misdemeanor. As far as the damages there's a law called, there's a timber trespass law, which is 227J, section 8 and 8A. So it's definitely more of a law-based, law targeted towards loggers as far as taking timber off land. But technically, if someone cuts a tree they don't own, they could be, civilly, they can be liable for the damage to that tree. They have to contact forestry. I have no idea what the tree value would be. Criminally, they could be charged. If it's over $1,000 of damage, it would be a felony. Other than that, it would be a misdemeanor. Our problem with that particular one is we have to show where they got the tree from. Do you know what I mean? So a cut branch 300 feet down the river, you can't necessarily tie that branch to a tree on your property. And since we have a responsibility to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt, that is a problem. So we're not really able to charge someone, which is why we've attempted to catch people in the act, so to speak. We haven't been successful on that part yet.
We found an encampment on our land a month ago, and I didn't go and attend. The officer, Dave Walker, did. Found the guy's ID, and a suspicious bag of drugs, and nothing happens, the guy's out on the street 3 days later.
Oh, well, hold on.
That's my.
I don't have, I understand your opinion, but you have to also understand the bail statute. Okay, someone, if I arrest someone for a crime, then they have to be released on a personal recognizance unless certain things are met. The big part of that is if they're a danger. Proving that someone is a danger to society does not just mean they're gonna continue to commit misdemeanors, it means someone's life is in danger. Okay, so that's a person who would demonstrate they're very violent, they've threatened to kill someone, something like that, obviously we're not
I
there.
understand well enough.
And then, besides that, there are some other things we could do if they repeatedly don't show up for court. But there's specific charges for that. And also if, I had another one. But they repeatedly don't show up for court is a big one. But the other problem is, for most of these violations, you simply cannot hold someone on bail. You can't take someone's liberty away on a violation offense. It has to be a misdemeanor A or a felony offense to take their liberty away. And they're entitled to, and one of the reasons for that is they're entitled to a public defender at that point. And you're not entitled to a public defender on a violation or misdemeanor B because there is no chance of your liberty being taken away. You cannot be placed in jail. Oh, the other piece was, and if a cash bail is set, they have to be able to pay it. So if you're dealing with someone who has no means, they simply can't set it, the judge can't set a cash bail because they can't afford any cash bail. I literally had, in my own experience, I had someone who had missed court 13 times, and I demanded that she be held on cash, and she was held on $2 cash bail because that's what she had. We are incredibly frustrated with that law as well. Unfortunately, that's not the branch of government we're in.
So I think some of this, people making encampments on my land is because there's town land, both sides of me, and they probably think they're on town land. And they just move in and totally disrespect everything. They steal tools from my shop, you know, steal wood, steal supplies, steal from other neighbors. And now, I've kicked them off 4 times in 1 month off my property. And now they just moved down the tracks onto town property and they've got a huge encampment made.
That's not there at the moment, but they've been,
It
that
was
particular
a day
person,
or two ago.
yes, it was.
Okay.
And that person's been cited at least 4 times in the last week and a half. They haven't paid any of them. But again, with a violation, I can't take someone's liberty away.
So if they don't pay these violations, can't you arrest them at that point?
So if you don't pay, so the town ordinance violation, accepted here a few months ago, just to simplify some stuff, they can pay a civil forfeiture at the police department, which goes to the town. If they don't do that within 30 days, then we would charge them in the court with a violation of town ordinance, and then they would be given a court date. And assuming they showed up for that, we'd have a trial. If not, the court could issue at that point a warrant for their arrest for failure to appear, which is a misdemeanor. But we're still looking at the same penalties and whether the judge decides to hold them responsible.
So that back to the.
Can I just, I just wanted for the record that we've exceeded the 3 minutes. And I'm not sure
Well,
if
that- Jim was,
Sorry.
and if,
That's
well,
okay.
that was a little different because we had
Yeah.
a two-way conversation.
right.
And I think it'd be
Can we-
appropriate for the board, or the chair, to ask if we want to continue the discussion.
Can we wrap it up in 1 minute? I mean, are you comfortable with the answers?
I don't think I got much of an answer. I appreciate you trying to explain it, I thank you, but it's
Simple
not,
that.
I don't think it's a very good answer, and I know your hands are tied, but
Okay.
for me, I'm just tired of dealing with people stealing from me, literally living on my land,
Have you,
trashing my land.
have you filed theft reports with the police department?
I don't think a theft report, we filed a trespassing report.
Okay, well, it's,
Different name for it, I've got it hanging at my shop, so I can reference it, but,
okay.
anyway.
Thank
just-
you.
I'm just down the railroad tracks from Mike, actually. I've been
Yep.
putting up with this shit for 6 years now. I've had people on my land, off my land, all around my land. I would like the Board of Selectmen to give the police authority to have the trespassing on these pieces of town property that's just nonstop. They move in day in, they take them out, they're back there 2 days later, all around me and him. So the Board of Selectmen can give the police authority to call it trespass, just like at Remick Park or anywhere else, because it's really starting to get old.
Chief?
Actually, I've been working with Rod, thank you for bringing that up. Just for clarification, town ordinance is just a violation. And so we can't physically arrest people. I know the expectation is, well, there's an ordinance for no camping, and we're just gonna go in there and we're gonna criminalize these individuals for being homeless, and we're just gonna rip them out of property and put them in the clink and never see them again, throw away the key. That's just not criminal justice. The judicial system and the legislative system, they're the ones that create rules and regulations, we enforce it. And we can only enforce rules that are within the scope of our duties. And I will tell you right now, I'm not gonna give up my certification and my job to violate somebody's civil rights. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, we don't get to order,
Right.
we don't
Nor are
order
we
the
gonna
police.
criminalize homelessness. However, Rod has a great point. So I've been doing some research. He is correct. The Parks Commission, years ago, made the park, because they have the authority under state statute, they regulate the parks and said, you know what, you can't be in the parks between, I think it's 10 p.m. and 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Something like
If
that.
we find
Or
somebody.
9, yeah, 9 to 6.
All right, it's 9 now. If we find somebody there,
Changed,
we
yeah.
can then ask them to leave. It is posted conspicuously at
Right.
entry points.
Yeah, it is.
And then we say, hey, you gotta leave, and if they don't leave, now they're defying a lawful order, and we can arrest them for a misdemeanor criminal trespass charge and remove them from that property. And it's been very effective. So, I've consulted with the municipal attorney. You, as a board, have the authority to restrict properties. You can make certain properties, restrict all access and say, you know, no trespassing, or you can restrict properties to specific things, like, for example, only snowmobile use. But you have that authority under RSA 41, I believe it's RSA 41.
4111.
4111. As board members, my recommendation would be to, because this has become very problematic, you're listening to your citizens, and so it's very problematic, and I think if you allow me to work with Troy, we can provide you some recommendations, give you some things to chew on to restrict some of these properties, or prevent people from being there from 9 until 6 a.m. or whatever you choose to do with those properties. It would also give the police department a little bit more authority to remove individuals from those properties.
Do we have, Troy, do we have an inventory of town-owned property?
Yeah, we do.
Do we have a plat
We can,
that shows them?
we can generate it through our software.
Okay. So maybe that would be the next step, so that we can review it.
So what was voted on was no overnight camping on town property.
Correct.
With a
So we could
$10.
So we could just make the,
Roger, if you read the ordinance, it states, for any ordinance in the town of Littleton,
Right.
all of them are violation level offenses. A violation is a non-custodial, it's not even a criminal act. You have the authority under that ordinance to increase the fine amounts up to $1,000.
yeah, but what good's that gonna do? We
Okay,
have no money.
but what I'm trying to tell you is ordinances are violations. They are not criminal acts. The
Right.
ordinance
They
that
keep
was
them from jail.
passed was a violation.
So the same thing that you have, you were just talking about in the parks, we can physically remove them.
Right.
So why can't we do that to town property?
You would have to post it.
We'd have to post
You
it.
have to post it, and that's what I'm asking the chairperson
Right.
to give us the authority to work after we consulted
Yeah.
legal. They said, hey, why don't you consult with the manager and give the the board a plan, and that's what I propose that I
Right.
do.
All right, one other question. What rights does a landowner have for protecting his own property?
The landowner, in his case, he found the individual on this property, called us, and then we in turn served that individual with notice that said, if you return, you're trespassing.
And then it's,
Okay, and what we needed the landowner to do is to call us immediately when that person was doing it, and we could have caught that individual and so on and so forth. That's what occurs in most cases, and quite honestly, it's very effective. We've arrested, and I'm venture to say hundreds of people since I started working here, which is forever. But the point is, it's very effective. Criminal trespass is a very effective statute in the state of New Hampshire. It's not an ordinance.
But you have to have notice, so most, in the state of New Hampshire, most property, unless it's posted, is open
Correct.
to use.
Right.
So if someone's just on someone's property, they don't want them there, we're in a little bit of gray area until they're told they need to leave.
Right.
In most cases, when we give notice, individuals don't come back.
Right.
In most cases, unlike the individual that's been tormenting Mr. Carbone, and I mean that very sincerely.
I mean, I feel bad for this taxpayer.
That individual, as of this time, right now, is incarcerated,
Again,
and his
we're
site
over,
has been secured.
Right.
we're over that 3 minutes, so the
it's been a very good discussion,
It has been a
I
good
think.
discussion, I
Yeah,
do
no, I know, I
appreciate
just
that.
want to
Yeah,
make sure we
oh,
always
yeah,
Okay,
Chair.
can we-
know we're over the 3 minutes and what the board wishes to do.
December and then Ron.
December and then Ryan, okay,
I think.
December 1st?
Yeah, just a quick 30 seconds. I mean, I know that nobody wanted us to have a sanctioned spot, but that sanctioned
nobody.
spot would have solved all of this. I mean, there still would have been outliers that would have done things like there are in every aspect of people who live in houses and drive cars. But the fact that you have given us zero ability to make a home, this is what happens. So you voted against it, everyone said, no, we don't want it. So now this is what happens as a result, because we don't have any place to safely go. So I don't go on, like, you know, if I find on someone's private property, I don't go on people's private property, so can't speak to who's doing what they're doing to you. It's not me. I can only speak for me and say that, again, sanctioning one spot would have solved all of this, and we wouldn't be having this, we wouldn't be trying to solve things with new ordinances and do this and do that or whatever, so that's it. We wouldn't have this discussion at all, so that's
That's
it.
okay. I want to speak. I really appreciate that we can talk about this subject without calling each other names and swearing and getting upset, because this is a hard subject. And even though December might not believe this, I care about this subject greatly. I also can care about an antique fire engine at the same time, simultaneously. So I can care about lots of things. I care about the unhoused. I helped start, not with the town, but a nonprofit that does have 10 beds. It's going to open November 15th. It's something. Is it everything? No. I'd suggest, if somebody has private property, if you want to help somebody out, help. Churches around, help. Do what you can. Guess what? This is going on everywhere. I was in Oregon this summer, and you know what happens when you push people and push people and push people? There are people just right in the front of stores on any green grass when you don't give some kind of sanctioned area or try to work with people. That being said, I disagree, December. It would not have solved everything. And you're also wrong that nobody else was willing to talk about it, because I was. You've lumped me in and not given me any credit for caring, and I don't appreciate that. But I do appreciate the conversations, but I want it to be completely truthful that there is a shelter. They're popping up around the state, an emergency winter shelter. I know it's not for everybody, and I know you don't want to stay there, and that is totally fine. But I'm just saying I want us to keep continuing to have conversations, but not to be so adversarial, because we're not getting anywhere for adversarial at all.
Why did you just reveal, what do you mean I don't want to stay there? Carrie, why did you just reveal something about me personally, which you have no authority to do?
Okay.
And why are you taking time in the meeting here to address
3
me?
minutes off.
That's
Because you're one of the people that here are speaking to me, so I think I can address you.
But nobody's helping us. That's what I'm saying. There's not.
But that's what you're saying, and that's not true. There has been.
I'll help
Okay,
you,
okay,
because
all
I will
right.
buy you about
I tried, I was
Florida,
just trying to
if
respond
you'd
to
like,
it.
honestly. where it's warm.
This is where I live.
Excuse me,
This is where
gentlemen,
I live.
gentlemen, this
Guys.
is still the select board
Go
meeting,
through the
please.
chair.
Thank you,
please.
Jim.
Go through the
I'm
chair.
just offering, I'm not.
Okay, Rod, did you have a question or a comment that you wanted to make?
I just have a comment.
Just a second,
Oh,
Heidi.
sorry.
Rod, did you have a question or a
I
comment? you
did,
wanted to
I
make?
said,
Okay.
I was thinking that it's no different than having a sign when you come into town, no parking on the street. I don't know why we can't have all town land, no trespass.
Okay.
No different than that.
Okay.
We don't have to put a sign at every little spot.
We don't put people in jail when they park incorrectly to give them a fine.
Wait, the problem with that is, this is why the chief and I are gonna need to really take a look at the inventory. It's
Understand.
public land,
Right,
and the public has a right to access that land unless there's some regulation. So it's like all of our parks, the public has a right to go on that property within the allowed time period.
Absolutely.
So we can't just pass a blanket policy that says no trespassing on town property.
But you could at
Couldn't,
night.
you could not
But
do
you could
that.
at night.
Well,
And also when the ordinance
We already
was-
passed an ordinance that said no camping on public grounds.
No camping.
Enforce it.
No
We
camping.
haven't enforced it.
Well,
In fact,
it's
we've
not,
There's-
written numerous
there's-
summonses
I'll
for
go
it.
for a ride in this evening, Paul. I'm
What's
telling
that?
you.
They know,
You're missing
they're,
a couple spots.
they're aware, but it's not,
my
there's no
gosh.
more
I
steps
mean,
to.
it's unbelievable that people camp out
But you-
along the river.
Also, you can't
Report.
spend all day making a campsite, it says it right in the ordinance. Just, I mean, we got people, I mean, they're making a Taj Mahal all day long so they can stay there at night. That's strictly forbidden in the ordinance.
But when you see it, I urge the public, when you do see that kind of activity on town property, please report it to the police department.
And the guy that was on my land, I think you said he was in jail, he went by my place at 3 o'clock today, hauling trees to his campsite. 3 o'clock, I watched it.
He
I'm
was
not lying to
transported to
you.
the Grafton County House of Corrections
For 3 felony
at one
warrants.
something, so I do not believe he was possibly moving trees at 3 in the afternoon, so.
Chief-
Well, that's why we do call the police, but they take them away and they're right back the next day, that's all, you know.
Chief,
I would like to just kind of piggyback on what Troy's talking about and not minimize
Right.
Mr. Carbonell's concerns, because I want him to call, I want him
Yeah.
to report. We have signs up and down Main Street that say, see something, say something. That doesn't mean 2 days later, that doesn't mean 2 weeks later. We're here 24/7. Our officers want to go and respond to any crime, any issue that you may have as citizens immediately. And it really does help us. I always hear people say, well, I didn't want to bother you because it's minor. It's not minor. That's what I hear from a lot of people. They
Yeah.
honestly feel that their concerns are minor. They're not minor. We're here to help. We want you to call right when it happens. Okay? And maybe we're talking about 2 different people. So we
There's
can
something
chat
going on
after,
there.
okay?
Yeah.
But we'll chat after this, because I don't want to discuss names, but I can guarantee you I've watched this individual get into a sheriff's department car headed southbound because of 3 felony warrants. Somebody had said something else, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I
Heidi,
did.
Heidi.
No,
what
there's
was this?
other people too now. I mean, there's a lot more down there, so, doing things. My question, as you're well aware, the other day, that one individual was sleeping in the bathrooms of the soccer field. So when the girls arrived for 6 a.m. practice at 5:45, they went into the bathroom and he had set up a whole homestead in there. There should be no child in this town that has to deal with something like that when they go to the field from the school for practice. Not acceptable. And then he proceeds to sit outside while they're getting their shoes on and socks and sits down with them, charging his phone. Not acceptable.
Okay, were the police called for
They
that
were.
incident? Okay.
Okay, I want to clarify. We were not called when it happened, and I've had this discussion with Heidi. We were called hours after the fact, and had we been called when that individual was discovered.
At 5:45
it would have been
that
It
morning.
would have been a different situation. We are on 24/7.
Yeah.
Now, I appreciate her concerns. No children should have to
Correct.
be in fear. But we also discussed the fact of whether practices could be closed or not and how to proceed with that. And in fact, maybe seek some counsel on closed practices because the individual did remain at the ball field and made the players feel very uncomfortable. But again, call us when it's happening
Right.
rather than after the fact, is what we appreciate. And by the way, she did call eventually, and I will say that although we did address the issue, and nobody got right back to Heidi, which is our fault. The officers had a lot going on that day, and she deserved a call right back, and she didn't get one.
Thank you, Chief.
I'm just concerned too, because these people, like the other day, and I'm all for finding people homes, that's my job. I will pay for somebody for a hotel in the middle of the winter, and I've done it before. I've worked with Paul with an individual here when he couldn't find him in the winter, and I put him up in a hotel. So my concern is, the other day, I'm going to the varsity girls soccer game, and the girls are waiting at Apthorpe for practice for their coach to come, and there's a gentleman in a scooter charging it at Apthorpe, and he's on the registry. So that's concerning. He's charging his scooter at a town property. That's not acceptable. Why aren't these things, I'm part of Parks and Rec and Commissioner, and I continually say, lock these up. You know?
Were the police called when he was discovered?
It's not against the law for him to be there.
Okay.
Why would I call?
Then right.
Right.
There's your answer. It's not
But
against
it's
the law
against-
for him to be there.
I mean, anybody can just charge their stuff, like I can go to my house and take out all the battery operated things and just charge them all on town property, anywhere?
Theft of services, isn't it?
If it's not locked, I mean, unless there's a sign that would say it would restrict that.
Correct.
I mean, I don't believe it's that. It's a good point, Roger. I think theft of services would be a great way to look at that, but it would have to have something preventing that individual, just an outlet.
Right.
Was that bathroom left unlocked?
Which one, at Stoddard?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that breaking in?
So 2 weeks prior to that, I opened it up for practice. I couldn't get in because there was no key. So I believe what happened was the code was never moved, and the individual took the key and continually went in there and slapped.
What I'm kind of hearing is both people have reasonable issues. December does, and I think so do you. Everybody has reasonable complaints, and we are or at least me, maybe I should talk for myself, I do not know how to fix either one of these issues for either side. I really don't. Because if I could, believe me, I would. And I'm trying, but I don't know how to fix it. This is going on thank you, Wayne shaking his head. This is going on everywhere in the world. This state is particularly horrible right now with unhoused. People are not choosing that lifestyle. You know, they could be there for a myriad of reasons, mental health, there's, lots of reasons, poverty, they had bills and they couldn't pay. People end up unhoused for lots of reasons. There's a lot of great people that are unhoused. But what I'm trying to say is, instead of us complaining, can we work together? I'm being a little bit of a hippie here, but can we come up with some solutions? And they're not exactly what December needs and wants right now, and they're not exactly what Heidi and Rod and Mike want right now, but can we together? And that's what I thought we were doing when Chief Smith and Troy worked on a potential place that was a little out of the way to allow people, and I don't know that I don't agree that solves everything, but can we each compromise a little bit and find something? Are there empty buildings? Is somebody have a private building that's wealthy and would be willing, if people, liability, I know I'm sounding ridiculous, but if we don't each budge a little closer to each other, we're not gonna come up with anything. And December's never gonna get what he needs, and I understand what he's saying too. I agree with a lot of it. I also agree with a lot of what Rod and Mike and Heidi are saying, because people are afraid, but we need to work together, or we're gonna just have this conversation over and over and over ad nauseum.
Right.
That's all I wanna say. Sorry I'm emotional about it,
No,
but I
but
care
you're right.
about this. And I know you all do, and that's why you're here. People care about people, but we don't know what to do. The money's not coming from the state. I met AYOT the other day. Why are we not getting funding? Each municipality and taxpayers have to pay for everybody in their town. We need some help. This is me saying to the state, take care of welfare yourself. This is getting and then distribute it to towns. This is killing people. We don't, like, what are we supposed to do? You know, and we need help. And lots of towns need help. And I hope that goes viral because it's ridiculous what's going on.
You know, Heidi Hurley again, just a quick thing. Maybe if they were more respectful of our community, a lot of them, not saying you, sorry, I'm not putting you in this thing, but if they were more respectful to the community and the surroundings that is given to them, maybe we would want to work with you. But they're not. This person here has made a better tent site than most campgrounds in New Hampshire. I mean, he has taken rocks. It's unbelievable to see what he has done there. And to scare kids and to do things like that. And I know people tell me they're harmless. But when a child opens up a bathroom to go
That's not
use,
okay.
that is not okay.
That's
That is
not
not
Never said it,
okay.
yeah.
Something is going to happen one day, and we're going to come back to this from here and say, what did we do? Nothing. Because they're harmless.
Well,
They don't respect our property. They do not respect the taxpayers' properties. They do not respect the town properties.
And I think it's from desperation, but I don't know what the answer is. You know,
Every-
some of them, because you're lumping everybody and it's just like,
I'm
there's
not-
a bunch of.
I'm not
Okay,
looking.
all right,
That
let's-
poor
let-
guy down at TJ Maxx parking lot has been living in his truck for 6 months by himself. I don't know his age. He's elderly. I checked on him today. He has nothing, no resources, nothing.
Yeah.
Where are we at with him, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, we can discuss this until next
I
Wednesday.
know.
And we're not
But I-
gonna come up with a
I
solution.
appreciate that people kept
Okay,
it calm.
what I will leave you all with is, number one, we need to respect everybody.
And they need to respect us.
Heidi?
Both sides, both ways, yeah.
Okay, we need to respect everybody. If you see something, you say something. Call the police if they're doing something illegal. That phone call should have been made at 5:45 that morning when
It
that
should have
bathroom,
been,
when
but I
that,
made it to
when
Ryan's
that
car.
bathroom door got opened, okay? Now, I get as emotional as Carrie about this whole subject because it really drives me up a wall. Because there are people out there that want to remain homeless. There are people out there that have no control over being homeless. I understand all that. I understand the dynamics. But they deserve respect, just like everybody else who drives into their driveway and walks into their warm house. And it has to start with me. And if I can't respect the person next to me, then how are they going to respect the person next to them? Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I think
I just want to say one thing.
I think we've talked this subject to death.
I think it's
Just want
over.
to say one final thing, that we as a board have to remember that we work for the taxpayers. That's all I want to say. So,
Okay,
I make a motion to adjourn.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
All.
Aye. Okay. We didn't do it. We'll do it.